Hey everyone, this is Voice of the Journey. I wanted to share that a couple of days ago, I wrote down in my notes three topics: friendships, falling in love, and interactions with strangers. And I wanted to talk about this and link them with the awkward silence I have experienced in each and how it is so different when it shows up. I have struggled with awkward silences most of my life, and it is something I really don't like. It makes me anxious. And I don't recall the first time I experienced it, but one thing I'm sure of is that it has happened so many times and I just hate it. Because, for example, when awkward silences happen with friends, it often makes me question if the friendship is still working for me. I start to wonder if we'll still have the things in common or if I've simply grown apart from them. Sometimes I might not agree with what a friend is saying, leading to these silences because I don't feel stimulated enough to respond. It's a weird space to be in, especially with close friends, because it can make me feel like maybe it's a sign to move on and end that relationship. But the thing is that this made me wonder, why is it that breaking up with friends is not common? Recently, I've been thinking that some people are here to teach us valuable lessons and then move on. And it's okay to let some friends go, I think, to be more cautious about who we let into our lives. And this has made me more selective about who I spend time with, choosing people who add value to my life and vice versa. It's about finding those virtuous cycles where both parties push each other to become better versions of themselves. And as we get older, making new friends becomes challenging, or at least for me, it does. Because most of my friendships were formed when I was a kid or a teen, during simpler times when we didn't have many responsibilities. But now, as an adult, I have to look after myself, take care of my own needs, and focus on what's best for me. And so, building new friendships requires effort, time, and energy. And honestly, it's not my priority right now. Because I've learned to say no and to focus on what truly matters to me. And I mean, when I was younger, making friends was almost effortless. We were all thrown together in school with no real responsibilities or pressures. We didn't choose to go to school, it was just a given. So standards were pretty low. Nobody had big expectations because we were all just kids trying to figure things out. But as we grow older, the game changes. We start setting standards, consciously or unconsciously. Now I have to evaluate if a potential new friend aligns with my values and life goals. It's like a filter that automatically kicks in, and honestly, it can be exhausting. Me moving to LA made me more introspective about my friendships. It's made me realize that I have to be my own protector and that I have to do what's best for me because no one else is going to do it. And this realization has shifted my approach to friendships. I'm more cautious, more selective, and I don't want to waste time in relationships that don't add value to my life. And I've noticed that making friends as an adult requires intentionality because it's not about having someone to hang out with anymore. I don't need that. It's about building meaningful connections that support mutual growth. And this takes time, energy, and effort, which can be a lot to handle. Sometimes I just don't feel up to it, and that's okay. I've learned to say no to protect my energy and focus on what truly matters. But here's the thing, meeting new people is still exciting. There's something incredibly refreshing about connecting with someone new. It's like opening a new book and diving into a fresh story. But again, it takes time to actually meet someone, to build that connection, and right now, that's not my priority. And I'm learning to be okay with that. Most of the time, I feel I don't fit in with my current group of friends, but I also don't fit within a new group either. It's like I'm in this transitional phase, a lonely chapter, where I'm working on myself to achieve success, and it's on me to improve. And while that can be daunting, it's also exciting because I believe that one day I'll reach my definition of success. And when that happens, it will all be worth it. I've also realized that I don't like the best friend label because it sounds too intense, like it comes with a lot of pressure. No one truly knows what the other person is thinking, and the person you consider your best friend might have someone else they consider closer, and that's okay. Labels like that put unnecessary pressure on relationships, I think. I prefer to let friendships develop naturally without forcing anything. And sometimes I wonder what type of friend I am to others. Do I add value to their lives? Or are they just keeping me around because they don't know how to end the friendship? It's made me reflect on what it means to be a good friend. And everyone has different definitions of friendship. And I've learned not to measure all my friendships with the same bar. It's about finding those connections that help me become a better version of myself. And so, from friendships to romantic love, the way we connect changes, I think, but the essence remains the same. When I fall for someone, it's the most wonderful experience. It makes me feel excited and alive. But those awkward silences in a romantic relationship used to make me wonder if the spark was fading. But now I've learned to see those silences differently. When I'm with the one I love and we share a moment of silence, it feels like floating, surrounded by peace. And it's about being present and enjoying the moment without the need to fill the space with words. It's about feeling connected on a deeper level, beyond words. And allowing myself to live through those silences has transformed my experience of love. Instead of feeling anxious, I now find those moments more valuable than conversations. They are moments of bonding, but just being together is enough. It's a shift from fearing the silence to embracing it as a part of our connection. I used to panic when there was nothing left to say or ask. I would get so anxious that I'd blurt out anything just to fill the silence, often saying things I didn't mean or that weren't relevant. Now I've learned to embrace those moments. I realized that these silences can be more fulfilling than words, and that it's about being comfortable with just being together, enjoying the presence of the person you love. Navigating these silences has taught me a lot about myself and my relationships. It's made me more patient, more understanding. I no longer see silence as a sign of something going wrong. Instead, I see it as a space where deeper connections are formed. It's about being present, feeling the moment, and appreciating the simple act of being together. And so now, let's shift the gears to something we all encounter daily: interacting with people we don't know. Because interacting with strangers can be both exciting and nerve wracking. I used to avoid these interactions, often isolating myself by wearing earbuds or being on my phone. But I've started to challenge myself to take off the earbuds and put away my phone. This simple act has led to some amazing encounters, whether it's at the grocery store, at the gym, or even while driving. These small interactions have added so much value to my day. Because meeting new people and having a quick chat can be incredibly fulfilling. It's about seeing the world through someone else's eyes, even if just for a moment. These interactions remind me that we are all connected and that there's so much to learn from each other. I've also realized that these brief interactions can be incredibly rewarding. They open my mind and let me see the world from a different perspective. It's a simple yet powerful way to connect with others and feel more human. I've learned that it's okay to step out of my comfort zone and engage with strangers. These moments add richness to my life that I wouldn't experience otherwise. And of course, not every interaction will be smooth. There will be awkward silences, but that's okay. It's all part of the process. I've learned not to overthink these moments and to accept them as normal. Sometimes the best conversations come right after a moment of silence. And I used to be afraid of these silences, thinking that I had to fill every gap with words. But now I've come to appreciate them. They're natural and can even be a sign of comfort between people. It's about being present and letting the conversation flow naturally without forcing anything. And I've noticed that when I let go of the fear of awkward silences, my interactions with strangers become more genuine and enjoyable. It's about being open to the experience and allowing myself to be vulnerable. These moments have taught me a lot about myself and the world around me. They've shown me that it's okay to be human, to have flaws, and to embrace the unknown. So, whether it's friendships, love, or interactions with strangers, silences are a natural part of our connections. They don't always have to be awkward, they can be moments of growth, understanding, and deeper connection. I've learned that these silences can be incredibly valuable. They've taught me to be more present, more patient, and more accepting. They've shown me that it's okay to be vulnerable and to embrace the unknown. It's about being comfortable with who I am and allowing myself to connect with others on a deeper level. And so I really want you to think about the moments of silence in your life. How do they make you feel? What do they teach you about yourself and your relationships? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Yo soy Bruno, and I'll see you in the next one.